Kaplan joins us live now from Washington. He's the managing partner for the aviation publication Airline Weekly. So, Seth, thank you so much for being with us. So explain to me, how is it that despite all of the controversy, all of the fallout, the fact that video of Dr. Dow being dragged off that plane went viral for over a week, how did that not make a single dent in the company's earnings?
Well, I mean, to be fair, it probably made some kind of a dent, just nothing that we can really perceive. You're right. I mean, they had one of their best second quarters in history. Airline reputations matter, at least when you're an airline that's trying to attract premium customers like United is. But the reputation generally has more to do with sort of everyday things like reliability. You know, are you getting me there on time? Are you not losing my bag? Those sorts of things, rather than those one-off incidents. So I'm sure there was somebody, in the days after that happened who didn't book United. But it's more about the mundane stuff, and they are doing a better job in that regard. Actually, Delta last quarter had a big mess in Atlanta when thousands of flights were canceled following a storm. That's the kind of thing, Delta usually a more reliable airline, the kind of thing that impacts the long term and even beyond a few days more than those sensational incidents.
And you know what? It's also true that because of all the consolidation, there's only four major airlines in America in terms of choice. Because of all the consolidation, people don't really have that much to choose from. You know, if you're a United customer and you're usually booking United out of a hub that is close to you, that's the airline you're going to go with, despite any sort of PR nightmare they're going through.
You're right, and it sort of varies. This is an industry that it's still somewhat competitive, but it just sort of looks more like other industries. You go back a decade or more, and yeah, there were some people, depending on where you were and where you're flying to, you might have had 7 or 8 airlines to choose from. Now you might have 3 or 4 airlines to choose from. That's not so different from other industries, but it's less competitive than it once was. In the same sense, you have 3 or 4 mobile phone, carriers to choose from, satellite TV, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, no surprise that airline earnings now also look more like earnings in other industries. They're doing a lot better than they once were. On the other hand, you do have upstarts that are growing very quickly. Airlines and United seems to be feeling a little bit of a pinch from this. From overseas, an airline like Norwegian in Europe introducing all kinds of new transatlantic routes, and similarly these what are called ultra low cost carriers within the United States. Frontier Airlines just announced a whole bunch of new routes last week. So still competitive, still growing competition, but in terms of those big global airlines, yeah, you don't have as many in the U.S. at least as you once did.
So in terms of earnings, United did pretty well in this earnings report, but their pre-market trading, the stock is down over 4%. What are investors worried about? What are the headwinds for United right now?
They seem to be concerned about United's forecasts for what are called unit revenues, and that's basically how many cents each passenger is paying to fly each mile. Delta actually had a rather bullish unit revenue forecast, and I think investors were probably excited by that. United, although it has gotten its hands around what were until recently actually falling unit revenues, it's sort of looking for more flattish, maybe down to up to 1%, sort of a flattish range. And I think investors, although United, by the way, beat earnings estimates, maybe they were hoping for even more. You've got the expectations and then sometimes the expectations beyond those. And so, maybe disappointed that there wasn't even more positive momentum going forward.
All right, Seth Kaplan, thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate that.